Eat bananas. Alright, hello everyone, it's ANoob here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a custom track. This is part 2 of the video. If you didn't see the setup video, then go and watch that. This first part, my program did for me. It set me up with a course file and a whole bunch of other stuff that's kind of cool, but you guys don't have that, so we're going to show you how to do this. What you're going to want to do is go to your MKWii files, go to race, course. These are where your courses are. You're going to select one of them. If you don't know what the file name is, then you can look it up on the internet. Mario Kart Wii file names, and look, first link that pops up, it'll tell you what each of the file names are for which track. Okay, so you decide on that. I decided to go with Luigi Circuit Beginner Course. So it's a good idea to start with an existing course, because otherwise things can go wrong. This way you just ensure that you have everything inside of the SCS file that you need to begin with. Alright, so now how do we make a custom track? This is another track that I'm working on. Okay. So you're going to open SketchUp, and we're going to actually start working on the course model. So we're going to delete all the random junk that it starts with. Make sure that when you open SketchUp, you are in decimal meters. So under model info, units, decimal meters. Okay, so we're gonna, if you don't know how to use SketchUp, it's a good idea to watch a tutorial on that. I am not going to do that because I am bad at using SketchUp myself, so yeah. I'm gonna just make a really simple course, and it's just going to be a circle, because that's how I roll. So we got our little course model. First thing you should know about modeling is there's different culling modes, and what that means is there are white faces and dark faces, and the default culling mode requires you to have all the white faces upwards. So keep that in mind as you model. Just if you have any dark faces, then the game won't recognize it probably later. If you have a dark face, then just click reverse faces, right click and click reverse faces, and that'll fix it. You want to make sure that all your stuff is 3D that you're driving on, for the most part. Yes, and then there's the issue of scale. Typically, the size of a road should be about 4,000 meters, and up here you can see that right now it is 44 meters, so that is not big enough to drive on. So what we do to scale this up is we're going to use the scale tool. We select everything, we use the scale tool, and we start scaling, and since it was 44, I'm going to scale it 100 times. And it just got really big, so I'm going to use this to zoom out. There we go. Let's see what we got. Make sure. Okay, 4,500. That's a decent size for a track. Okay. So we're going to go over here. Another important thing when you're modeling, anything that is below the fall boundary or below the origin. So anything that's below the red and green axis, whenever players go below there, they will automatically die. So you want everything above that. So just to be sure that we're safe and that we're not just going to immediately die as soon as we respawn, we're going to keep it above those two axes. But now your question is, how do we get textures? Well, if we go into our brawl box, into the course that we copied and put in our folder, then we can go to coursemodel.brrres, that's the course model, and we go to textures, and then we have all these different textures you can see here on the right. These are weird textures. I don't really like any of them. And what you can do is you can right click them, you can export them, and then you can save them wherever you want as a PNG file to then import into your model. Luckily my program already did that for me, so I don't have to do that. See, look, here's all these textures that are ready to go. Okay, so I just go to create a new material by hitting this box. I hit the wrong box, but okay, here we go. And we go to my texture folder, wherever it was. That's the wrong one. Here we go. Textures. Alright, and I am just going to use, let's see, which one of these should I use? I'm going to make the entire thing a Luigi Cap Road. This is going to look really weird. Now we can texture. Alright, now texturing, we obviously want the textures to also be close to the same size as the road. Okay, so that looks cool, I guess. Luigi Circuit is a circuit full of L's. And we're going to make the start line a different color. And this is just going to be a super basic tutorial. Let's see, we want to do a Luigi arrow for the start line. We're going to call it start line. And we just use the bucket tool. B is the hotkey. There we go, we got this. Now we can also move textures around by right clicking and hit position. Now I'm gonna move this sideways, sure. Luigi. Okay, now we're going to save this, and we're going to save this as the course model in our folder. Okay, there we go. We have our first course model. Now, we are going to use that handy plugin that we installed. This is where we need OBJ exporter. You go to File, OBJ exporter, it should already be there. If it's not, then you didn't do the setup tutorial correctly. Alright, and we export it into our folder. Okay, and you click yes when it asks about textures. Okay, now we're going to make a brez. So you go to wherever your brez editor is that you installed. You're going to do new. You're gonna file import wavefront OBJ. You're gonna go to your tutorial, to wherever you put your OBJ file. You're going to check course model because that's what it is, and you're going to import it, You can actually see it right there. There it is in my textures. We're going to save it as course model.brez. We're going to put it into our SCS file. So open up your SCS file, you right click on it, and you click replace. And then you go to wherever your Brez file was that you just made. Right there. And just like that, we have hacked that track. Okay. So we're far from done, okay? Now the next step is map model, right? And we actually could have just done this step at the same time. We do the same exact same thing as we did with the course model, except this time we check map model. And I'm going to save it in my special location. It doesn't, you can save it wherever, but I just have a special file system set up. Okay, so there's the map. You can replace that too in your SCS file. There we go. Now we have a map model and a course model. If you actually go into the subfiles though, it might break, and no, it will break. Like, see, look. So just don't go in there for now anyway. Sometimes you want to go in there later for like transparent textures and stuff like that, but I'm not going to cover that. This is a beginner tutorial, not an advanced tutorial.